Here we go. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen right now. So these are some problems that people sent me in the email. They look like they come from some type of app. But before we get started on those, are there any questions you would like me to go? The people that are here present, are there any types of problems that you want me to
Kind of
go? Okay.
refresher for me for everything, Professor Tinsley.
Okay. So
Yes, sir.
so let's look at this problem here. It says, what is the relationship between the two lines represented by the equations 5x minus 20y equal 20 and 8x plus 2y equal 8? Use the formula sheet to determine the formulas needed to solve the problem. I don't agree with you having to use the formula sheet at all, actually, but that's what they say on this problem. Does anybody know how to start this problem? First of all, so the options are parallel, perpendicular, they intersect, and they are the same line. Okay. What is a parallel? What are parallel lines? What are parallel lines?
I think is slope.
Say that one more time.
Slope.
Nope, not slope. Nope. So let me make sure we understand that first. Parallel lines are two lines that will never cross. Parallel lines are two lines that will never cross. Okay, the reason why they cross is because they have the same slope. So it is associated with slope, but it's not slope. Okay, so parallel lines are lines that will never intersect because they have the same slope. Everybody got that? All right,
Yeah.
what's a perpendicular? What are perpendicular lines? Anybody know what perpendicular lines are? So you might be saying, let's just answer the question. We don't understand the question. Well, what happens is math is also about terminology. So you want to make sure you understand terminology. So parallel lines are two lines that will never intersect because they have the same slope. Um, and what are perpendicular lines?
Opposite.
Say that
Opposite.
again.
Opposite. Opposite verbal line.
Well, yeah, what is a perpendicular line? Perpendicular lines. So perpendicular lines are two lines that intersect, but they don't just intersect, they form a 90-degree angle. So, for example, okay, they form that 90-degree angle. That's very important for you to understand. So, perpendicular are two lines that will intersect, but they form a 90-degree angle. That's important for you to decipher between those two, parallel and perpendicular. Recently on the GED exam, they've been using what they'll ask you for equation of a parallel, equation of a perpendicular, but you should be familiar with both. So when we look at this problem, we have two equations. 5x minus 20y equal 20. The second problem is 8x plus 2y equal 8. So what do we know? So those are the two equations we know. But what else do we know when I give you those two equations? What else do we know? Does anybody know what form these equations are in?
Yes, sir. Looks like standard form.
Is in standard form. So that's the first thing you got to be able to understand. There are several forms you need to be familiar with. The first one is slope intercept form. Y equal mx plus b. So y equal 2x plus 3 is an example of that. Standard form is ax plus by equals c. So 2x minus 3y equal 9 is an example of that. So you must be able to differentiate between those types of forms of a linear equation. That's very important. So right away, what you should see is that both of these equations are standard form. So Mr. Tinsey, what do you mean AX plus BY equals C? So let me change my color because I'm going to make this problem a very easy problem. Okay. So AX plus BY equals C. You should be able to see that the variable A is the coefficient that's in front of the X. So A is 5. B is the coefficient in front of the Y. B is -20. C is the constant on the right side of the equation. So C equals 20. Does everybody understand how I got A is 5, B is -20, and C is 20? Did everybody understand that? Okay. So I'm going to show you an easy way to find a slope. Very easy. Take the opposite of A and put it over B. To find the y-intercept, you put C over B. So the slope will be -5 over -20. You should see two negatives make a positive. So my slope of this first line is 1/4. Does everybody understand that?
Mm-hmm.
Not hard at all. So you don't have to change it back to slope intercept form. I'm giving you an easy way. If you're given a linear equation in standard form to find a slope, identify your A, B, and C, take the opposite of A, put it over B, that's your slope. To find your y-intercept again, so these are important for you to know. To find the y-intercept, C is 20, B is -20. A positive and a negative make a negative. 20 divided by 20 is 1. So my slope is 1/4. My y-intercept is -1. Okay, I'm going to change my color to red. Matter of fact, I'm going to move this over first. Right under here. Then I'm going to change my color to red. Let's look at the second equation. Again, I'm going to make this as easy as possible. You should see A is what?
A is 8,
8. 8. B is what?
2,
C is what?
8.
Perfect. To find the slope is -A over B, which is -8 over 2. A negative and a positive make a negative. 8 divided by 2 is 4. So the slope of this line is -4. Well, right away, I know the answer to this question. How would I know the answer? Remember what I told you. Parallel lines had the same slope. So line 1, first line, slope is 1/4. The second equation, the slope is -4. So they don't have the same slope. So I know those lines are not parallel. Perpendicular lines. In order to find a slope of a line that's perpendicular, you take the negative inverse. What do you mean by negative inverse, Mr. Tizzy? All these terms. Oh my goodness, negative inverse. Change the sign and flip it. So when we look at, so let me look at that first equation. The slope was 1/4. Any parallel line is also 1/4. Any line that's perpendicular is change the sign, becomes negative, and flip it. 1/4 becomes 4/1. -4/1 becomes -4. Ding, 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 ding. If we look at that second equation, the slope is -4. So we know that these lines are perpendicular. So what I would practice is to make sure if I'm given an equation in standard form, I'm able to find that slope and y-intercept. I would say less than 30 seconds. I would practice until if I see an equation, I should be able to identify if it's slope intercept form, standard form, and be able to find a slope and y-intercept in less than 30 seconds. That's the first thing I would tell you to do. Okay, so these lines are perpendicular. Okay, let's go to another problem. It's very similar. It says the line represented by the equation. Let me make this a little bigger so we can make sure we can see it nice and clear. Now, I don't know where these questions came from. Look like some type of app. A student sent them to me in my email. So the line represented by the equation 2x minus y equals 4. Is this equation slope-intercept form or is it standard form? Is this equation slope-intercept form or standard form?
Standard.
Standard form. So standard form is ax plus by equals c. My a is what?
2.
2. My b is what?
Is that going to be y or 1?
What kind of 1?
-1
Negative 1. And my c is what?
is 4.
4. Again, to find the slope, very easy. We take the opposite of a, put it over b. So if a is 2, what's the opposite of 2?
+2. I'm sorry. All right, that's going to be -1 over 2.
No, hold on. Let's do
No,
one step at a time.
I'm moving too fast. I'm sorry.
If a is 2, what's the opposite of a?
-a.
Negative. If
-2.
-2. B is -1. Two negatives make a what?
Positive.
Positive. 2 over 1 is the same as what? 2 over 1 is the same as what whole number?
1.
2 over 1 is the same
1.
as what whole number?
2.
2. So that means the slope of this equation is 2. Does everybody understand that? Again, this might take practice. But again, that's why I have my website. You can find a section under linear equations where all you can do is find the slope of equations that's in standard form. Practice. You should be 30 seconds. You should be able to do these problems. My y-intercept is c over b. C is 4. B is -1. A positive and negative make a negative. 4 over 1 is 4. So my y-intercept is -4. So let's look at this. So again, first of all, we identified what we know. So we identified this equation as standard form. Because it's in standard form, we identify what the slope is and the y-intercept. Now let's get back to the question. This line represented by the equation 2x minus y equals 4 is parallel to the line represented by which of the following equations? So we got to look at each one of them. All we need to find out, we would know, is parallel lines have the same slope. So again, that's something given. That's something we should know. It's not given to us in the problem. So now all we're doing is looking at each of these equations and trying to find a slope of +2. So in A, multiple choice A, this is standard form. My A is what?
6.
6. My B is what?
-3.
-3. My C is what?
6.
6. To find the slope of this, I'm going to do negative A over B. So if A is 6, negative A is what?
-6.
-6. B is what?
-3.
-3. Two negatives make a what?
Positive
Positive. 6 over 3 reduces to
is
what whole
2.
number? So
2.
we already done. We found the slope of 2. So we're done. A is the answer. A is parallel to that equation. You're already done. So you should be able to look at this right now. Listen to what I'm saying to you right now. And this is not to put pressure on you. But when you find a new way to do something that's fast and easy, you need to practice until you got it. Because you should be able to look at this formula and say, okay, minus A over B. My slope is -6/3. My slope of the second equation is -2. You should be able to see A is 3. If my slope is -A, which is -3, over B, which is -6, my slope is 1/2. So what I did was I gave you a way step by step to do it. So first of all, what we did was we identified the equation as standard form, AX plus BY equals C. So first I initially wrote standard form right over the top of the equation so that you can see, so you can identify A, B, C. Once you identify A, B, and C, you should know that the slope is the opposite of A over B. To find the y-intercept is C over B. You do the same process for each problem. So you could you'll be able to do this problem in less than 30 seconds. Okay? So that was an easy problem. A, that's one is parallel. Now all these problems are very similar, look like coming up. Oh, so this is a little different. These are actually very good problems, actually. Okay. Nancy can run a 6-kilometer race in 24 minutes. Adit runs according to the table. Who runs faster on average? Again, it says use the formula sheet to determine the formulas needed to solve this problem. You don't need a formula sheet to do this problem. But can anybody tell me how to do this problem? Where would you start? Where would you start? Nancy can run 6 kilometers, a 6-kilometer race in 24 minutes. Adit runs according to the table. Who runs faster on average? Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question before we do this problem. Um, so this is supermarket A. This is supermarket B. So at supermarket A, you can buy 3 bags of Doritos for $6. At supermarket B, you can buy 2 bags of Doritos for $5. Where would you buy your Doritos from and why? Where would you buy your bag of Doritos? And we're just looking at cost. Where would you buy your Doritos, your bag of Doritos, and why?
If it's 3 bags and you got 3 big bags of Doritos for $6, would be
Mhm.
supermarket A?
Yeah, at supermarket A. So you can get 3 bags of Doritos for $6 at supermarket A. And you can buy 2 bags of Doritos for $5 at supermarket B. Which supermarket would you buy your Doritos from? And tell me how you would tell me why.
I would say the 3 bags for Doritos, supermarket A, because you get 3 bags for $6.
What does that tell me?
Mm,
Like you just restated what I wrote.
I got you. But I'm thinking more so, Professor Tinsy, like I think I would come out maybe better cheaper if I bought 3 bags at $6.
But but show me how. Not I don't want the feeling. Well, I feel like it come out a better deal. Tell me why.
I got more
How do you
at
figure it
one
out?
price.
Dollar per bag.
Oh, it's
This
a
is
dollar per
called
bag.
unit rate. This is a
Okay.
very important concept for the GED. In order to compare things, a lot of times you just got to figure out how much one costs. So in the first one, it was $6 for 3 bags. Well, 6 divided by 3 is 2. That means it's going to cost me $2 per bag. Does everybody understand that? Supermarket B, it costs me $5 for 2 bags. 5 divided by 2 is $2.50 per bag. So the better deal would be, like you said, supermarket A. Why? Because each bag of Doritos only cost me $2. So when you look at a problem like this, that seems like they are unrelated. It seems like they have nothing in common. First of all, I can't stress it enough. First, you identify givens. What do you know? So we know Nancy can run 6 kilometers in 24 minutes. So I'm going to take 24 minutes and divide it by 6 kilometers. That means 24 divided by 6 is 4. So 4 minutes for every 1 kilometer. That means it's going to take Nancy 4 minutes to run 1 kilometer. So we're going to go over to the table now and we're going to look for 1. Because there is no 6 kilometers in this table. If there was a 6 kilometers in this table, we could easily do this problem. But there is no 6. So we compare by finding the unit rate. Right there. So they both run 1 kilometer in 4 minutes. They run the same rate. So you come down to your answers. And your answer would be Nancy and Nadeep run at the same average rate. That's an easy problem. But the concept is what's important. Unit rate. I can guarantee you the 2 concepts we just went over, parallel and perpendicular lines of linear equations, and unit rate are going to be in your exam. Guarantee. Guarantee. Let's look at this one. Let me move this over. Kareem can type 150 words in 3 minutes. Jorge's typing speed can be modeled using the equation 200 equal 5s, where s is the average typing speed in words per minute. Who has the faster typing speed? Wow. How do we figure that out? Can anybody tell me? So I just gave you a clue with unit rate, words per minute. So this is very important for you to understand. Listen to what I just said. Words per minute. Words per minute. Well, guess what? That's unit rate. Unit is 1. So how many words for each minute? Words is going to be your numerator. Per means division, because I remember told you that prefix per means division or out of. Words divided by. So when I look at Kareem, he did 150 words, 3 minutes. Look at that. Look how easy that problem became because you know what per means. What's 50 divided by 3? Can anybody tell me? 50. So Kareem types 50 words per minute. Does everybody understand that? And how I got that? Okay, good. Again, unit rate, words per minute. Now the second one, we got an equation. My goodness. What does this mean? First of all, you never see the variable in front of the coefficient. So we're going to rewrite this how we normally would see it. 5s equal 200. They tried to just throw you off. It's a simple equation. 5s equal 200. In order to get s by itself, what do we need to do?
Division.
Divide
Right.
by what? Divide by 5. Whatever we do on one side,
Another side 5.
we do on the other. The two 5s cancel. We have S equal, what's 200 divided by 5?
40.
40. So S is the average typing speed. So Jorge types 40 words per minute. We already figured out Kareem types 50 words per minute. So now all we have to do is find an answer. Kareem, because his average typing speed is 40. Nope. Kareem, because his average typing speed is 50. So which has the faster typing speed? I don't really like that answer. Just because he has 50 doesn't mean you don't know the other. But the proper answer is Kareem because his average typing speed is 50 words per minute. Kareem has the faster typing speed. An easy problem. But it's important that you understand that's a unit rate problem. Okay, this is similar to the one we just had. What is the ratio? Now, so remember, I told you if you're given standard form how to find a slope. I showed you how to find the y-intercept. Hold on, Mr. Tinsley. This is asking something totally different. This is asking what is the relationship between the lines represented by the equations 5x plus 2y equal 14 and minus 10x minus 4y equal 8. And this is what's going to happen to you in exam. You're going to sit there and you're going to look at that because you know how to find a slope. You know how to find a y-intercept. But how do I do this problem? How do I answer this question? What is the relationship? Well, first of all, let's look at our answers. They are parallel, they are perpendicular, they cross but are not perpendicular. They are the same line. How would I even know how to do this problem? Can anybody tell me where would I even start to do this problem? What must we find out first?
What formula is in?
What what form is in? And what is this a slope intercept form or standard form?
Standard.
Standard form. So both equations are in standard form. So what I would advise you to do is as you're writing them down, you write standard form right over top of it. So we know A is what for the first equation?
5,
5. B is what?
2,
C is what?
14.
To find the slope, what do we do?
Negative A over B.
If A is 5, what's negative A?
Negative 5
Negative
over
5. And B is
over
what?
2.
2. So the slope of this first line is what?
Negative 5. 2.
Negative 5 over 2. The y-intercept, which is C over B, was C.
14
B is what?
over 2.
So now I'm gonna have to come down here.
7.
So my y-intercept is 7.
Oh.
Now we could rewrite this equation in slope-intercept, right? Because we know why. Let me change my color again to blue so we understand that there's a difference, right? So let me change this to blue. We know slope-intercept form is y equal mx plus b. Well, we know what m is. We know what the slope is. It's negative 5 halves. So y equal negative 5 halves x. And we know b is 7 plus 7. They're the same. So that's like $1.04. $1 is 10 dimes. $1 is 20 nickels. They're the same linear equation. They're just different forms. The first form is standard form. The second form is slope intercept. Now let's look at the second equation. Let me move it over a little bit. So if this is in standard form, my A is what?
Negative 10.
Negative 10. My B is what?
Negative B. Negative 4.
Negative 4. And C is what?
8.
8. To find my slope is what?
Negative A math.
Negative A over B. If A is negative 10, negative
10.
A is 10,
Positive 10.
and B is what?
Negative B.
Negative
Negative
4.
4.
So we have to reduce this to lowest terms. A positive and a negative make a negative, and we get 5 over 2. Does everybody understand how I reduce 10 negative 10 over negative 4 to negative 5 halves? Okay, good. My y-intercept is C over B. Now I'm running out of room here, so but which is 8 over negative 4, which is negative 2. So this is the same as y equal negative 5 halves x minus 2. These are not the same line, because if they were the same line, they would both have the same equation. But they do have the same slopes. Both of them have a slope of negative 5 halves. Does everybody understand that?
Yeah.
What types of lines have the same slope? What?
Parallel.
Parallel.
Okay.
There you go. There you go. So again, I would make sure I can identify type of equation, the slope intercept, whether standard form, and no matter which way, which form it is, you should be able to find a slope and a y-intercept in less than 30 seconds. And if you can't do it less than 30 seconds, you keep practicing until you get it, till your time is less than 30 seconds. Because you want to come to these problems and say, oh, that's an easy problem. I got that right next one. You want to make sure you're building your confidence. So the whoever the person who sent me these questions, a lot of the questions are very similar. So when they go over this, they should be able to do these types of problems. Again, this is a unit rate problem. So understand also what I'm doing, right? I said linear equation. I said standard form. I said standard form is ax plus by equals c. Identified A, identified B, identified C. I said the slope is negative A over B. If you notice, I keep saying it. I keep writing it. So what? When you get to your exam, you won't have to do all those steps. Well, this is the same thing here. To compare two unlike numbers, the first thing you're doing, you got to understand that they're comparison. Look what they're asking. On which day was her average speed faster? I read the question first. I want to know what they want. Now, let me identify my givens. Michaela is driving from Las Vegas to Boston. On the first day of her trip, she drives 495 miles in 9 hours. That's a given. Identify your givens. Her driving the second day of a trip can be modeled by using the equation 455 equal s times 7. Very similar to what you now. I doubt if the GED is going to try to throw you off with their formula, but you should be able to see that this is 7s equal 455. Okay, we're talking about algebra. Your coefficient is in front of your variable, so s times 7 is the same as 7 times s. Does everybody understand that?
Mm.
So, how do we get s by itself? We divide by what?
7.
7. The 7's on the left side cancel. We got s equal. 7 goes into 45 how many times?
6.
6. How many do we have left over?
3.
3. Bring down the 5, that's 35. How many times does 7 go into 35?
5.
5. So, her average speed the second day was 65 miles per hour. How do I find her average speed on the first day? Remember, it's giving you a clue. Miles per hour. How many miles did she go on the first day?
495.
So 495 is your numerator. Her is division. How many hours did it take her?
9.
9. How many times is 9 going to 49?
5.
5. 9 times 5 is 45. What's my remainder?
9.
4.
Wait a minute. Oops, 5.
4. 9 times 5
Uh,
is 45. And 49 minus 45 is 4. So we bring down that 5. How many times is 9 going to 45? Well, we just said it, 55. So on the first day, she averaged 55 miles per hour. The second day, she averaged 65 miles per hour. So now all we got to do is find the answer. On the so on which day was her average speed faster? We already know it's the second day. So it can't be A, can't be B, because they say on the first day. On the second day, because her average speed was 55. That's not it. On the second day, her speed wasn't averaging 55. Boom. So they try to confuse you a little bit. On the second day, because our average speed was 65 miles per hour. Again, that's a unit rate problem, not difficult. Definitely gonna have a unit rate problem. I can almost guarantee. All right, so any types of problems. Let me see if she had any more. Let me clear the screen. Any questions on the problems that we just did? That's a unit rate problem. So this is what I'm going to do. On this problem, I'm going to have you do the problem. And I want you to tell me the answer. So I'm going to pause the recording. You let me know when you're ready, when you have an answer. And I want to see if you can do this problem. Suppose plane A flies 800 miles in 1.5 hours. Plane B flies according to the function f of x equal 400x, where x is the number of hours traveled and f of x represents the total distance traveled. Which plane is faster? Average. Plane A, plane B. Both planes had the same average speed. There's not enough information to tell. So I'm going to pause the recording. I'm going to have you do this problem. And then once you give me your answers, I'll explain it. So let me pause it. And I'm going to give you a couple minutes to do this problem.
No, sorry.
Okay.
I know. I don't know.
Okay, you did not. Okay, so you might be asking, why would I say set your timer for 3 minutes? Again, let me reiterate every problem why you should set your timer for 3 minutes. Because you want to see how fast or slow you're able to do the problem. Okay, because one of the things, there's a time limit of 120 minutes. So you need to know the types of problems that you're going to spend a lot of time on. So if you already know going into the test on certain types of problems, you spending 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes to do the problem. My first instinct would say skip. My first advice would say skip those problems, finish the exam, come back to those. But let's do this problem. So, the wall you did not answer. Brandy, you answered. But let's look at this problem. So remember, unit rate. Identify your givens. 800 in 1.5 hours, and f of x equal 400x. You might be saying, Mr. Tinsley, I know you just showed us this type of problem, but it seems totally different. Oh my God, this say f of x. The last one said y. What you should also understand is when you see f of x, because they say it's a function of, that's your output. This is the same as saying y equal 400x. Same thing. But they threw you off with that f of x and the function and the word function. And you, oh my God, what about y equal 400x? We want to find the unit rate so we can compare these two planes. So 800 divided by 1.5 miles per hour. Very important for you to understand. It's miles per hour. It's telling you what to do. Miles is on top, divided by hour. So what's 800 divided by 1.5?
533.
5 what?
533.
5 divided by 1.5?
No.
Let's see. You should use your calculator. If you don't know, use your calculator. Don't waste time trying to do this in your head. So the three things you should have out: so your scrap paper, your formula sheet, your calculator. 800 divided by 1.5. Let's see.
Ooh, 0.001855.
So I'm gonna grab my calculator.
I think I did this backwards.
800 divided by 1.5. I'm gonna put it exactly the way I wrote it down. Miles per hour. I'm gonna hit ND 800 over 1.5. I'm gonna hit enter. So you were right. 533.33. Well, you should already know that 0.3333 is 1/3. But if you didn't know, now you know. 533.33. Well, this is easy. Unit rate. How far can we go in an hour? So you might have looked at this problem and said, I see no similarities with the problems you just did, Mr. Tinsley. Watch this. They're giving you the equation. Your input is X. How many? So it's telling you X is the number of hours. So if we say unit rate, we know that's 1 hour. So we're going to substitute X for 1. So how can I go? How far can I go in 1 hour? 400 miles. This goes 500 miles per hour. So plane A is faster, average. Those problems are the same problem, but you have to have a conceptual understanding of what to do. So the first one, you had to figure out miles per hour. The second one, you had to realize that X was the number of hours. Since we're talking about unit rate, we're going to put a 1 in there. They love problems like this one right here. They love problems like this one right here, where they give you an equation and they
Excuse
give
me,
you a ratio. Yes,
excuse me, sir. When you multiply 400 1 hour, why you write 1 hour and a half, like plain number A?
because they gave you two different things. Remember, I divided by 1.5 because I wanted to find the unit rate. How far can I go? How many miles can I go in 1 hour? So, for example, if it said you can go 800 miles in 2 hours, it would be 800 divided by 2. So I can go 400 miles in 1 hour. What they try to do by throwing that decimal in there and not being a whole number, people get confused. No, you have to understand. In order to find unit rate, they're giving you the answer, miles per hour. Number of miles I need to go divided by my hours. So 800 divided by 1.5 is 533. Remember, you still have miles per hour. It's just
Okay,
that your hour is
okay.
1.
Can I
Got me?
multiply 400? Yeah, can I multiply 400 in 1.5 hour?
No, 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 no. Because we're not. So now what you could do, right? Okay, I understand what you're saying now. Watch this. So if we know this plane went 800 miles in 1.4 hours, we could do 400 times 1.5,
Yeah, I know.
and we
Yes.
get 600 miles per hour, or 600 miles, not 600 miles, 600 miles per hour, right? Or this trip went 600 miles. This one goes 800 miles. So it's still plane a plane A. We did it two different ways, but got the same answer. So you could plug a 1.5 as X, and then you can compare them. Remember, the reason why I changed it to unit rate is because you want to compare them the same way. We don't want to compare apples and oranges. So in my example, I said, okay, how far can each go in 1 hour? What you did was, how far can each plane go in 1.5 hours? Do we still get the correct answer? Yes, plane A
Mhm.
is faster. Understand? So I love the question.
Okay.
Sometimes you don't have to do it algebraically. Sometimes you can use common sense. For example, I'm gonna do a problem. Let me open my study guide so you can actually see. Oh, I don't have it open. Let me go back to my home. Let me go to my study guide. Sometimes you don't have to do it algebraically. Sometimes you can use common sense. And I'm going to explain that to you right now. I'm going to give you an example. And it's a similar problem. It shouldn't be this hard to find. I don't know why I have this problem. See what I'm looking for and I can't find it. Let's see. Right here. Okay, this is a very similar problem. Unit rate or proportion, right? 0.5 to 2 feet. What is the length? A scale drawing of a house uses a scale of 0.5 inches to 2 feet. What is the length in inches of a line on the scale drawing that represents an actual length of 5 feet? So first of all, how you would solve this? Now you could do it 0.5 over 2 feet. And you get 0.25 inches for every foot. 0.25 inches for every foot. Well, I need to know 5 feet. So I can multiply this by 5 and I get 1.25. That's one way you can do it. Another way you can do it is you can set up a proportion. 0.5 inches is to 2 feet is equal to x over 5 feet. Because we want the same thing on both sides of the equation. We want to cross multiply. We get 2x equal 2.5. Divide both sides by 2. You get x equal 1.25. We still got the same answer. But watch this. That's solving this problem algebraically. Watch this. I'm going to solve it using common sense. If I know a ½ inch is 2 feet, I know 1 inch is 4 feet. I know 2 inches is 8 feet. Well, I want to know what 5 feet is. So I know 5 has to be in between 1 and 2 inches. Can't be 20, can't be 10, can't be 2.5, 1.25. I'm done. I didn't do anything algebraically. I used common sense. I set up the ratio and set it up so I could easily see. If I know 1/2 inch is 2 feet, I know 1 inch is 4 feet. I know 2 inches is 8 feet. If I'm trying to find out the actual length of 5 feet, I know it's in between 1 and 2 inches. Looking at my multiple choice, it can't be 20, it can't be 10 because 10 is not between 1 and 2. 10 is not between 1 and 2. 2.5 is not between 1 and 2. The only answer there between 1 and 2 is 1.25. I'm done. Matter of fact, if I'm solving this problem, I wouldn't even do this algebraically. I could see that right away. Because 1/2 inch is 2 feet, 1 inch is 4 feet. I already know my answer is one and some change. I'm done. To me, it's like a 5-second problem. But I wanted to show you how you could look at this in different ways. You could solve it unit rate. You could solve it using proportion. You can solve it using common sense. And all 3 ways will get you answer A. There's more than one way to solve a problem. So as you're going through my site and you're practicing problems, it's no set way of how you understand. Do it different ways. So then you can uh, uh, improve your speed, improve your accuracy. So when you get to the test, you know, oh, this is the type of problem it's going to take me 4 or 5 minutes. You know what? I'm going to skip it. Oh, this problem. Oh, I can do this. Oh, and then what happens is the reason why most people don't pass the GED math exam is because they spend too much time on problems. If you Listen, you should not be spending 4, 5, 6 minutes on a problem. My advice to you, do the easy and medium difficult problems first. Go through the whole exam. Then come flag the difficult ones or ones that's going to take you a lot of time, flag them for review. Once you finish the exam, come back to those difficult questions. I guarantee you that'll be that. I can almost guarantee you that's because that's the biggest reason why people fail. The biggest reason why you'll pass because you understand that. All right. Any questions before we leave this evening?
No, thank you.
Everybody have a
God, thank
wonderful
you.
evening. I've been having problems sending the video out, posting on YouTube. So I did record this on as a link. So I might have to send you out a link that's attached to my computer at my house or through my Zoom and not on YouTube. Once I figure out what's going on with YouTube, I'll post it. But if I can't get it up on YouTube tomorrow by tomorrow or tonight, I'm going to see the link directly from Zoom. Okay?
Thank you, Mr. Tinsley. Always appreciate it, sir.
Oh, you're welcome. Have a good
Have
night.
a
Bye
good
bye.
night. Bye-bye.